This is a Clouds Weather Alert.
Back with you in the Weather Center, another tornado warning popping up now. This one for parts of Atkinson, Bacon, Coffee, Pearson, and Ware until 1:15. We have a circulation around Pearson right now that really kind of spun on up here real quick. You can kind of see it right there, and then the warning gets issued. Actually kind of fades away a little bit in the latest scans. Doesn't look like anything necessarily touched down according to our debris detection, but things kind of evolving quickly here. Toward the north, seeing enough of the rotational parameters come together, and we're actually seeing some more rotation there over northern Ware, getting ready to move in towards southern Bacon, which is outside of our area. But you see the broad tornado warning polygon here. I definitely got to stay on guard with that hook there on that storm there around Pearson. You do not want to lay your guard down because it could just be one scan and the rotation kind of comes back and the focus again. So a possible tornado. I mean, we have the tornado watching, but we're seeing the threat here, not necessarily too high, but enough. Obviously, we have to be on guard whenever there's a tornado watch. We're always on guard, or any type of tornado threat for that matter. It's our policy to be on for tornado threats here. Whenever there's a tornado warning in play for parts of the area, we jump on immediately to give you, your friends, and your family the latest information to go ahead and be able to protect yourself here. And that's what we have right now, a possible tornado in parts of the area. So you see the spin actually shows a veteran rotation tracker here, and we'll kind of back it up. You see some spin to the north earlier, but now toward the south, watching some of the spin here, you see the hook. Kind of get the idea that the new tornado watch has been issued further up towards South and North Carolina now. That'd be something they're dealing with. We'll see if there's another watch that kind of closes the gap or not. But again, right now there's an active tornado warning here for parts of the market. Possible tornado around Pearson. So rotation tracker a minute or two behind probably with that. But you can kind of see that scenario playing out. And it looks like we're getting some interference actually on the radar. This is what I was starting to think. We may be getting an issue with interference on this site. So let me check, see if we have another radar view of this. Have the Tallahassee radar, Jacksonville radar, or even the Robbins radar to pull up here. Tallahassee's not showing too much. Let's take Jacksonville here. It's not actually so much. It may have just been an anomaly there, or a really quick spin up tornado that may have been trying to get close to the ground, or maybe not actually touching down, but I'm going to check rotation on this other radar mode right now to see if it actually showed it a little bit better. It actually doesn't really show it too much there on the other mode, maybe for one frame, but this is a different angle that we're taking, obviously, from the Jacksonville site. So let me go ahead and pop this one up here. It's going to be a pretty long loop that we have, but we'll kind of pause it here, or try to at the end, and then back it up from that. And you don't see a whole bunch there, to be completely honest, which is good. Jacksonville radar gives us pretty good view, so it may have just been a quick little spin up. But the way the hook was, I think that was the right call to issue that tornado warning, though. Right when it was right near a city, I mean, it's a pretty rural area, but right near Pearson, to get that spin up like that with that hook, you don't want to take any chances here with what we already had tragically happen toward Washington County earlier this morning with a deadly tornado. 2 people losing their lives there. In the overnight hours, not a situation where there wasn't a warning. There was a good warning for that, but just a house, a couple of them destroyed there. Just so terrible to see toward the Florida Panhandle. Our first tornado fatalities in 6 years. But again, this is radar indicated rotation that we're dealing with right now. Not seeing a whole bunch at this point, but you never know what could be translating down toward the surface here. Again, we have a tornado warning in play. Looking down toward the south here, we have little areas of spin, I guess you could call them, within reflectivity, but not a lot within velocity. But it seems like as we get the axis and get further and up toward the north here, that's when we start to get the spins develop with these. So you just got to always be on guard here. Obviously, you got to expect the unexpected in the weather world, and we have maybe a little something there toward Axon Road there in parts of Atkinson County right now, moving on off, but they're giving us an update right now. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Pearson, moving northeast at about 45 miles an hour. Warning continues for Atkinson, Bacon, Coffee, Pearson, Ware. And now some of those counties are within our area, some of them aren't. Let me go ahead and kind of break this down for you again. I mean, obviously, if you guys are watching here, it doesn't really matter per se, but we just want to let you know our policy here on our covered on all of our different platforms. So Right now, the warning continued for Atkinson County. That is within our covered area. Bacon is not. That's further to the north. But Coffee, Pearson, and Ware, they're all within the area of a possible tornado on this Thursday afternoon. So again, there's your map right there, giving you guys an idea of that. We have a possible spin up. I mean, in the line earlier, didn't really have anything in our area in terms of any tornado warnings whatsoever. But now, had a couple of them. You see a little bit of something here. Possibly closer towards State Route 64. A little noisy in there, but continuing to watch. Let's see what's going on. That was actually, if you saw that blue area, we had some blue areas during the night toward Alabama last night. It was a debris signature, but that's probably just inflow on this storm. May not even be that, but that's not co-located in the proper area. Doesn't seem. This is very noisy, but there's that hook, and I think, again, it's the right call to have this tornado warning out. As that evolved right there near Pearson. So I know we have the strong winds. Otherwise, the wind field is pretty strong out there today, and that's something to be cognizant of, even if you're outside of any type of warnings, because there are some wind advisories in play as well. But again, a possible tornado in South Georgia. It's tornado watch in play until 2, and now a red box means a tornado warning in play. Now, Bacon, not in our area. We're talking about areas up toward Alma, Georgia there, but in our area, Pearson is, and that's what we're on the air right now to protect you, your friends, and your family. And we need to make sure you guys know what to do. Let me go ahead and pull up those tornado safety tips. So, tornado watch, of course, is what we've been having around. You're going to have multiple ways to get alerts. Even if things don't look all that crazy at one moment, the next moment they can change. Make sure you have those alert methods in charge of those devices in case you lose power. And then a tornado warning means the tornado has been detected using radar or spotted. Seek shelter inside that sturdy building. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and to protect yourself from flying debris, put on a bicycle helmet. So, again, tornado warning in play till 1:15. Checking here right now. Looking at our rotation. It looks, again, noisy in here, but there's that hook, and you always got to be aware of that here. Again, we're pretty far up in Georgia. Atkinson, Bacon, Coffee, Pearson, Ware. Not necessarily anything confirmed on the ground at the present time, but again, that could change at a moment's notice. Again, it's a pretty noisy signature. See if there's anything else to track right now. See some broad rotation further south, but again, nothing too noteworthy. But again, a tornado warning here for parts of the area until 1:15. So, the latest update, 12:47, possible tornado near Pearson, and this includes here this warning Bickley and the community of New Lacey as well. So you want to seek shelter inside, away from windows here. Again, not seeing what we saw this morning. I know I keep showing this, but I'm going to pop it up again because I think it just bears repeating over and over again what happened out toward the west, because now the parameters were more well defined out toward the west. As you see our rotation tracker now, but here's our debris signature from this morning. This is from 4:14 this morning. We had a debris signature, folks. We had a deadly tornado touchdown in Washington County. 2 people losing their lives, a couple homes destroyed. Significant damage, obviously, with that, and then injuries in play as well. But that's the debris signature right there. We had the fatalities at general vicinity in Washington County toward the southwest, or west-southwest of the community of Alfred there. But let's go ahead and go back on over to our current warning storm, a possible tornado in South Georgia here this afternoon. Tornado warning continued for another 23 minutes or so for parts of the area. I know we're going to keep on watching to see how this evolves. It's a pretty rural area at this point, but if there's a tornado, it could be near Nicky Road there in parts of Atkinson County. Trying to see what other roads in here. It looks like County Road 64 in there, possibly, as well, as we're looking at our street level mapping, of course. So, again, just trying to give you guys an idea. That's inflow, by the way, that blue. Most undoubtedly, that's inflow, not a debris signature, so don't stress out about that blue there. That's not really co-located here. It looks more like the wind pattern overall. But we'll continue to watch it, obviously, to make sure it doesn't become better organized here with the rotation and with the cellular structure of things. But again, we're watching, we're tracking. Let me go ahead and pull up our forecast here for the next 7 days. Just to kind of reiterate here that we do have the threat today of some severe weather, but then a little bit better looking as we get toward tomorrow, and a lot better looking even as we get past the first few hours. Maybe some of that lingering moisture early, but most of tomorrow looks good. But then Saturday here, we have more moisture toward the south and the southern areas, but then Sunday, Monday, a little bit better conditions here. With those temperatures trying to warm on up. I mean, at times, definitely quite a bit better, obviously, before Tuesday, Wednesday, rain chances, and maybe some storms, maybe even some stronger storms return toward the forecast. So, again, we do have a tornado warning in play right now. I'm going to take a quick break, and the cover will be back in about 2.5 minutes as we gather more information. The best rotation here looks to be about 10 to 15 miles east-northeast of Pearson. They're saying in the chat session, moving northeast at about 45 miles an hour. Take shelter.
This is a clouds weather alert.
Back here in the Weather Center, it's 12:56 on this Thursday. Tracking the tornado warning. Getting some new information in right now. In fact, at 12:54, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 10 miles northeast of Pearson, moving northeast at about 45 miles an hour. You can see that little hook here on the storm right now. So we're continuing to get the latest information and the latest updates from the chat session here. This is right there, by the way, if you're wondering. It's kind of an odd area because it's kind of on the edge of a few different TV markets. So right now the circulation's been in toward that TV market where you would define that as Albany's. Then it's going to maybe try to get into more toward the Jacksonville market before it transitions in toward the Savannah market. So a little bit inside baseball there if you're wondering how that's going there in terms of TV coverage. Technically, though, I mean, it includes all three with the Warren and Polygon. More on, of course, because it includes some of our counties, obviously, here towards South Georgia, as we're just explaining to you. But again, tornado warning here till 1:15. This little rogue storm, I mean, it has that rogue structure. It's able to get the energy, the inflow here toward the south and able to spin on up and maybe become potent here and get that damage potential down toward the surface. Though rotation tracker isn't showing it all that well, which is good news, but we still got to be on guard here this afternoon in this area, just in case. You never know what can happen here as we look down toward these areas. You can see rotation was stronger just a little while ago as we got toward Pearson, but now kind of broadening out in nature. So that's definitely good news. Haven't had any damage reports on these storms yet. Doesn't mean there hadn't been any damage, of course, as I checked some power outage information right now. Power outages have gone up a little in Florida. Just the nature of things sometimes. Let me go ahead and go on over to this right now. I'm able to see toward Bradford County. We actually have some outages. The winds out ahead have been pretty strong. 553 customers in dark. That's a pretty high percentage. That's why it's kind of lighting up the color that it is. You see Madison and Jefferson, a few outages as well. And then we have other states, many states really with outages. Georgia, not as many though. What we're looking at, it's up to just about 20 minutes, 25 minutes ago. You don't see too many outages as we get up here yet, but that can always change, of course, as we continue to monitor the weather situation. So, again, we do have a tornado warning here in play right now. Possible tornado in South Georgia, that little hook on the storm, but the rotation isn't as strong as it was here in northeastern parts of Atkinson County, moving more into toward parts of Coffee County here, potentially over the next little bit. We also have Bacon, which is outside of area under this warning, and Pierce and Ware too. So again, we're going to continue to track this circulation here. Part of this tornado warning actually doesn't really get covered by tornado watch, so it's kind of interesting talking about Pierce County there, but that's just the nature of things sometimes with this severe weather setup. So again, we're going to keep on watching. We're going to keep on tracking here. Tornado warning. Let me go ahead and pull up our other mode. We're going to go ahead and pull up our other mode right now because still that hook on here that's a little more well defined on our GR level 3 computer. So you can kind of see here the winds. They're not really matching up too well. You see some inflow maybe, but that's not really debris here or anything that's actually touching down. It doesn't look like it's co-located, so that's good news. But the community of Beach here could be impacted. It's interesting to have a community named Beach here in the ward parts of, I believe, northern Ware County. But you see here what we're tracking with this circulation. It's moving on off here toward the northeast at about 45 miles an hour. Alma, however you want to pronounce that, will be in the path about 120, but that's outside of our coverage area. But Bickley and New Lacey here under this warning as well. So I gotta keep on watching, looking for upscale growth. There's a lot of upscale growth with this, so intensification there, a possibility, and we just gotta watch to see exactly what happens down toward the surface with all the parameters trying to overlap in this vicinity. We have enough energy, enough shear to get a possible tornado. So tornado watch also in play for another hour, but again, right now the tornado warning is our main concern. So we're going to take a quick break in the cover. Be back in about 2.5 more minutes with more information. Not seeing a lot right now, but of course when there's a tornado warning in our area, we have to be on here to protect you, your friends, and your family.
This is a Clouds Weather Alert.
Back here once again at 104, tornado warning continuing for another 11 minutes. We just got an update from the Weather Service here. They did cancel out Atkinson County, so you're in a better spot with this potential tornadic scenario now, but still going for parts of Bacon outside of our area. But then Coffee, Pearson, Ware within the area at 102. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles south of the community of Nichols there. Or about 12 miles southwest of Alma there, moving northeast at about 40 miles an hour. So again, a possible tornado on the far northern fringes of the coverage area. But whenever there's a tornado warning within the area, we have to be on to protect you, your friends, and your family. That's the policy here. I know sometimes stations won't necessarily stay on wall to wall here or continue coverage, but that's what we're doing here right now because there's a tornado warning in play here. Or part of the Jacksonville television market even. So again, we need to go ahead and get folks into shelter here in toward areas around. It looks like Old Nichols Highway. It's not really tight rotation, probably a weaker tornado if there's one there, but again, you never know. You have a little hook on this storm. Again, we have a possible tornado in this area right now. It looks like around Bickley Road, Dewey Road here. Continuing to watch that here in toward parts of South Georgia. So real quick, taking the radar off here real quick, you see Coffee, Bacon, Pearson, Ware, and this circulation is within Ware County in the Jacksonville television market right now. A possible tornado in the Jacksonville TV market just moved out of the Albany television market here over the last few moments. You can kind of see that. And winds really pick up where we're at here toward this dark area right now. I've kind of heard the winds howl. Don't generally hear that too often, but this kind of goes to see the overall wind field that we're dealing with right now. So we're definitely dealing with some gustier winds this afternoon. In fact, I'm going to kind of take a little peek here at my anemometer here over toward the side. It's a little bit hard to look at while we're on the air here, but I'm going to go ahead and jump on over here. Definitely getting a gust in that 20 range here just a moment ago. So, in fact, I'm going to mute the mic just for a second and get a peek at that here as we look at the latest. So those winds definitely gusting on out there a little bit toward about 20 miles an hour. So getting up there here on this Thursday, just a little quick gust, you'll get that. And sometimes you can get a few limbs, something like that, and they're falling off. So I just have to be kind of cognizant of that when you get those gustier type of winds around, even outside of a storm or outside the main line. You see, we do have some accident in the Gulf, but right now the only tornado warning in play and warned storm is up toward the north. Thunderstorm warning in play as well. But again, we do have a tornado warning here toward parts of northern Ware County, a possible tornado in this area. So let me go ahead and see what we're looking at right now on our other mode. Again, you can see the reds and greens here. They're pretty bright in nature, but this is within the Jacksonville television market. So again, need to watch to see if anything's kind of picking on up here. Right now, looking here, not necessarily seeing anything co-located. Little something there as we got over towards some of these different roads, like Good Carter Road there in far northern Ware County. But again, a tornado warning here in play until 1:15. You can see our ZDR, there's still some upscale growth, but there's not a lot of circulation here. But again, you just have to kind of be careful here. You have a possible tornado in South Georgia right now. Coffee, Pearson, Ware counties in the covered area for another 7 minutes or so. So again, go ahead and take those tornado precautions around the community of Beach here in Ware County. So again, this is in South Georgia, possible tornado right now. Looking at echo tops here. We're not seeing them get really tall in this mode, but you kind of get the idea here. We're still dealing with some nastier acts, and eventually they'll this will be moving out of the area, so that'll be good news soon if this warning were to be extended, which right now I would think that it wouldn't. in Bacon County is where this will be headed, and that's not within the covered area. So that's the good news. But right now, this is parts of Ware County that's being impacted here, folks. That we're talking about again around the community of Beach in northern Ware County, looking north of Dixie Union. You see here that circulation is very broad in nature, not really showing up on velocity, but on reflectivity. Definitely showing a potential tornado signature. So again, you see wind 33 miles an hour toward Waycross here. You see 23 toward Alma, 28 toward Douglas. Kind of get the idea here with the gustier winds overall, but then stronger winds reaching down toward the surface here potentially with a quick spin up tornado. That's not out of the question here in this vicinity. But as we go ahead and kind of broaden things out, let me go ahead and broaden the scene just in case we don't have to come back on later on. Let me do that because that can be helpful here. You see some more action in the Gulf, not warned for severe weather right now necessarily, but there's a special weather, or excuse me, a special marine warning toward the Gulf. They are technically calling these severe thunderstorms, so we'll have to see how they translate on shore here in terms of their parameters. And in fact, they're saying there's a strong thunderstorm threat here, significant weather advisory to all parts of coastal really central Jefferson, northwestern Taylor, and western Madison until about 1:45. So we'll just continue to kind of track things here as they do develop in the weather center to kind of see how things end up going here as the afternoon goes on. So again, looking at some of the tools that we have at our disposal. Again, that warning here does continue for the community of Beach here in Ware County for the next few minutes. Again, you see the greens and reds coming together. It's not very tight, not very significant, but as we look down toward the south here, you can see we do that significant weather advisory. That's actually for the area there. Looks like just inland. This is for gusts in excess of 40 miles an hour and half-inch size hail. So gotta watch out for that potential. But we do have some spin here toward the north. Greens and reds coming together here in northern Ware County. We'll look at ZDR. You see upscale growth here closer toward the Bar, Bennett Trail, that area there. You see the worst of it starting to get closer in toward the community of Beach. It's very rural out here, but then I'll be moving in toward Bacon County. The warning will be set to expire, and I'll probably be able to wrap it up for the time being, but and hopefully not to come back on. I know last week we had to jump on and off, and starting to seem like it's going to turn into something like that in some regard. But that was a unique situation, and hopefully that doesn't end up happening here. Just getting enough parameters to come together on that micro scale level to cause some concerns here to have tornado warnings last week. Seeing a couple of those here in this little area here of South Georgia over the last little bit. As you see, still a little bit of spin trying to set up around Beach here, moving from our area Ware County in toward Bacon County. At this point, Coffee County here, the threat's over on this storm for you. So that's definitely good news. And then Pearson County, this is probably go just north there of you guys, but we're watching parts of Ware County right now here with a spin within the Doppler radar algorithms. Again, a tornado warning, meaning the radar has indicated rotation here within the algorithms. So you always got to take that seriously. Let's go back to the broad view again. The tornado watch goes here until 2 o'clock in that broader yellow color. See what it gets extended, or if this gets extended here. I know they're saying that they're going to likely let the warnings expire because the rotation does look weaker up there now, which is great news. Let's check this storm here east of St. Mark's. Not seeing a lot of rotation tracker right now, which is good, but still got areas in the Gulf to watch. Not a lot of lightning, but still got to keep watching. Not even a lot of any lightning. Really showing up toward the north here of Waycross. But again, a possible tornado has been indicated by the Doppler radar technology. But the warning likely will be allowed to go here in just a couple minutes, which is great news. Definitely some great news here on this Thursday. Again, we'll keep on tracking things. Hopefully we don't have to come back on. We're not doing a formal update because we're in that severe weather mode. But we see that forecast here quite a bit. Rain chances increase again Saturday. And then toward the middle of next week, that's kind of the highlight of that there. So you can get that, of course, at closer.com/forecast, and then cloudweather.com/radar will give you an interactive look at things when we're not on the air as well. So there's the view. Interesting to see most of this action, not necessarily severe or tornadic in nature, but that one rogue storm That one renegade storm has a warning for another minute or so, but that warning likely is going to go away. Even if they extend it, we'll be watching more toward parts of Bacon County here with the threat. And again, that's outside the coverage area, which is something that will be dealt with more by some other television stations in the Savannah market if we could get another warning. But right now, it's not looking like that'll be the case. I know another gust there toward Jacksonville, 45 miles an hour just a little while ago. These winds are definitely howling. I mean, it's probably pretty similar to what we're getting even further down toward the south in some spots. So definitely something to kind of be mindful of. But these warnings did go away here in just a matter of seconds. So we'll go ahead and watch them fade away on the screen for you. It's 1:15. There they go. No longer any warnings in play. So let's go to the broad view one last time before I wrap it up. I know we have tornado watches in play here, one to the north. You can see that over South North Carolina. You see our temperatures here, a little warmer further off toward the east. You see thunderstorm warning West Virginia, maybe some watches coming further up. You kind of even get the idea of that toward Pennsylvania. But this is an extensive line. We have these pressures here around 1,010 millibars or so, and we'll continue to watch. We'll continue to track the latest as needed from the Weather Center. Right now, no longer any warnings in play. Even if we were to get a new warning on this, it'd be probably more Bacon County, and that's outside the covered area. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for trusting me for now. I'm meteorologist Casey Cloud.